Salma Hayek. I'm so excited to bring her out. Please give her a warm welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for spending your night with us.
No, thank you, thank you.
I think I speak for everyone when I say that looks gorgeous. So beautiful. You can tell that there's a lot of passion and heart put into that project, huh?
And you've seen it,
And
right?
I've seen it. Yeah,
you
so I'm
know.
going to try very hard not to give anything away, but when I tell you it's a must-see, it's a must-see. But in any case, The Prophet has sold hundreds of millions of copies worldwide. Almost everyone has seen the book, they've heard of it. But can you tell me a little bit about your own connection to the book and why this was something you just had to bring to the big screen?
Yes, I found this book on the bedside table of my Lebanese grandfather when I was a very little girl. And it had that cover that it was actually a drawing by Khalil Gibran of a face of a man. And I memorized that face. I don't know why it made me think of my grandfather. And then my grandfather died when I was only 6, and we were very close. And it was very traumatic. You know, it was the first time that I had to confront a close death. And I thought it was so unfair that I didn't get to grow up listening to him and what he thought about life, and having him teach me things about life and about who he was. And when I was 18, I ran by an accident, well, not by an accident, but I just found the book on someone's house.
Wow.
I think it wasn't even my friend, it was probably the parents, you know, and I said, oh my God, this book, and I read The Prophet, and I said, can I borrow it? It was so bizarre because when I read the book, for those of you who don't know it, it's like a collection of poems that are like about different things, like about love, about friendship, about
Inclusion, right? Freedom.
Yes, crime and punishment, speaking. There's so many that are not here also, and for me it was as if my grandfather had come through this book and taught me and gave me advice about life, and also made me feel like through this book he was always present. I had
Wow.
access to him at all times, and taught me about also my heritage, because I'm part Lebanese, and about who he was, a spiritual man.
Wow. And so that clearly was something that remained with you throughout the years. You talk about having re-encountered that book in college, but why now? Was there something that clicked in terms of thinking, you know, now's the time for me to make this my life's mission, to bring this movie into existence? Was there something that happened, or?
Well, it's not something specific that happened, but I think there is a lot of people that would love to be inspired. You know, life is become a lot about just survival. And then we go to the movies to forget about our lives. But I wanted to make a movie that made you not forget about life, but reminded you about the beautiful things in life, and about that beautiful part inside of you, that it's very human, and that is very powerful, this human, and that is sensitive, because we desensitize ourselves. And to be able to expose children to this, and to poetry, and for the children, even if they don't understand all the words, they understand the poems through the images. And maybe when we see some, I will make more of an explanation to you how it works, because it's kind of subconsciously, but especially for the young people.
I was going to say, I mean, because you've done animated movies, you've done live action. Was there something about the animated format you felt that worked particularly well to tell this story?
Yes, the movie is about freedom. The best way to... I didn't want a movie that was pretentious and preachy to talk about big concepts. No, I wanted a movie that was lighthearted. The beginning of the animation, for those of my generation and above, will remind you of your childhood. It's very nostalgic, for the younger kids, it's good to see what their parents were looking at.
I was gonna
when
say,
they
there's
were their
no like
age.
CG here, right?
No, and it's a
there's no
different
splashy.
sensation when people. It's
people with the
done
books,
with
right?
love,
Yeah.
you know, by hand. It's like a handmade kind of a thing instead of a machine, and but also when you talk about concepts like gratitude or compassion, it's better expressed through art. Instead of just listening the concepts, I wanted my audience to experience freedom as they're watching the film. And it's also about how we are spirits, and that we are not our body. We are not our bank account. We are not our jobs. We are not even our social media profile.
What?
You know? No. That is
I see you on your phone over there in the front.
that is, you know, that is part of who you are. But what about all that other thing that you are that nobody sees and nobody talks about, and that sometimes we have a hard time feeling is in there or remembering it? And art, music, poetry, and the magic of cinema are the tools that we use to take you back in there and remind you of that part of you. And I was talking about the young people, this movie.
I mean, it's one thing to buy a $5 movie ticket versus, you know, maybe a more expensive art museum ticket, I think is what you're saying. Like, it's an equalizer. It's something that's relatively accessible and in that way can be an opener for a lot of people.
Yes, but it also, besides that, it frees you. What I'm talking about is freedom.
Yeah.
Not freed, you don't have to pay. No. I'm talking about freedom because...
No free tickets, sorry guys.
No, the movie, it's about freedom. And the first step to feel free is that you have to free yourself, from your head that won't shut up and won't stop, taka, taka, taka. In order to really experience freedom, you have to stop that. And what the movie does is that you are watching a very nice framed story that is directed by the director of The Lion King, Roger Allers. And then we're going to surprise you in different points, 8 times, with poems that are directed by completely different, 8 other different directors, some of the most amazing artists in animation, and they are really exuberant visually. And the way it frees you is that we are used to thinking, oh, now this is going to happen, and all of a sudden you're not going to know. You can never be prepared for what's going to come. You don't know what it's going to look like, and you don't know which one is going to be, and so you're not controlling, and you get to be free for that moment because you take a journey, but that journey, it's inside yourself. Everybody is moved by something different. It's not the kind of movie that is controlling what you're thinking and telling you what to think or what to feel, and this is, you know, where you're gonna cry. Yeah, we have the frame story, but the rest, it's all you, it's all yours. It's one image affects one person, one word, one, you know, sentence affects another person, and when you see the critics, it's crazy because they're all over the place in what they say. Oh, this was very good. No, I didn't like that. I liked. Everybody says something different, and even like we've had really good critics, but there was one that I love because it was a bad review, and I love it because it says, no, this movie is not good. It's like a self-help fantasia.
Oh.
And if I had money to pay one television ad,
Right.
I will put that quote to try to tell people to say.
Yeah.
And he thought it was an insult, and I thought it was such a beautiful compliment. But of course, maybe for cynics, this is like, oh,
jarring,
no, it's it moves you, and it's very beautiful with the art, and it's very, you know, childish with the main story. You should not go see this movie, I say, because of it. I really recommend this movie.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to stop for a second and watch a clip, right? So you can see some of this beautiful art. Can you roll that? Thank you.
This is the perfect example because the kids might not know what unbound means. They might not understand the words. But the message that the birds that are supposed to be free are trapped, with a cord linked to a tree, and that they still fly. And when they fly together, they take it off the earth. And they still fly even with the tree hanging on to them. But there is one that manages to still break away from the tree. So these are sublime. This is poetry, and it's done with art. So even for the children, this is very interesting.
And now you've been promoting this movie worldwide, right? And the movie was released in Lebanon.
I've only promoted in Lebanon.
Lebanon, okay.
And here and to a couple of
right.
festivals.
But in
this
Lebanon,
is the second place it comes out.
Oh my goodness! But Lebanon, where your family, you have some roots, and where the poet is from. What was the reception like there? I mean, were they as receptive to these ideas as?
It was extraordinary. We had, I don't know, I think 10,000 people outside of the theater that couldn't get in, that were going crazy the day of the premiere. On the second weekend, we beat, what was it?
The Avengers?
The Avengers.
Right. Can you believe that? They beat the Avengers?
Film. It's coming out in 2 theaters in America, one in New York, one in LA. And then if it does well, it'll continue to grow. In Lebanon also, it was like not a lot of cinemas.
Wow.
It's kind of an art house film, but it's not. It's very accessible, but it's seen, because it's unique, it's seen as an art house film.
And I want to say a little bit about that, because you produced this movie outside the studio system, right?
Completely.
I mean, I think for a lot of us, we think, oh, Salma Hayek, the movie star, she's famous. A movie, she can get that done, no problem. But there was a little bit of a journey in making this, right? Can you tell us about that?
I didn't really try to take it to a studio, because we wanted to have the philosophy of the book, of the writer, also in the creation of the film itself. So the film has no country. It's the only film that has no country. We got money from many different countries. All the artists involved in the film, the musicians, the directors, all the artists come not only from different countries, but from different religions and backgrounds. They are different ages. We didn't want to have one point of view to say, this is what you're going to think, this is what I think, and this is what I want to tell you. We wanted to take a vision of a source from many different angles, which this never happens in not only Hollywood, but not even in independent film.
Right, to go to different countries and to have everyone pull together like this.
And different artists, and then all of them complete. We were celebrating the differences. The film is also about that. And then the other thing that we did that had never been done before was go to the artists that did the poems, and because the film is about freedom, they had complete freedom in their creation. They didn't have a color palette. They didn't have to use one technique. We'd use 9 different types of animation during the film, different techniques. So we really wanted to be true to the spirit of the film. The film is about freedom, and that's why we used it.
And all of that 4 years to make this movie.
And a half.
4. Wow, that is incredible.
And it was, of course, when you try to tell people to get the money was the hardest part. I want to make a movie based on this book. Oh, great.
Yeah, how do you pitch that?
It sold a lot of copies. That's fantastic. It's a philosophy book. Ooh,
I mean, it's not your typical children's movie. Yeah.
Right. No, wait, I'm not even there. Then I say, no, but this is important because it's a philosophy book written by an Arab man. They go, oh my God, get out of my office. And I said, no, but it's brought all the religions together because it's not just philosophy. They do it, it's poetry. It's a poetry book. And of course, now they're ready to kick me out. And I said, but listen, it's for children. It's in animation.
And then their head starts spinning
yes,
again.
So it was really difficult to I didn't even tell them that it was it was hard to tell them then, by the way, there's 9 directors and they get to do whatever they want.
A studio's worst nightmare. And investors, wow. But you did get a really great cast. in this movie. You have John
Yes.
Krasinski, you have Liam Neeson. I mean, how did you get them to come on board, given that it seems that you didn't really have a budget and, you know?
No, this is for sure. And this is the good thing about being poor, that the people that are around you are there, you know, because they love you.
Right, right. You know who your real friends are.
Yes, the people that are involved in this film, they all did it out of love because
Wow.
they were excited about participating in an experiment, because it is an experiment, and because they loved the material. It was very easy to get the cast. That was one of the easiest things, because we showed the script and they loved it. And some of them were nervous about what are you going to do? But at the same time, for example, Liam Neeson knew some of these poems by
Wow.
heart. He
Really?
loves the book. It's important to him. Yes, so...
The guy from Taken likes poetry, guys. You heard it here first. Wow.
Yes, it was easy. The cast was the easiest part. Our musicians, Damien Rice, wrote 2 songs that are, one is based on one of the poems, the other one is original. Oh my God, it is sublime. The music is so good. Yo-Yo Ma participated in the score. Glenn Hansen and Lisa Hannigan, and Gabriel Jared, who won an Oscar for The English Patient, and Betty Blue. I don't know if you any score fans in here, which is so incredible. He did the score. He's also Lebanese.
I mean, it's interesting too that you place such an emphasis on music, because I think the formula is, right, you choose one composer, maybe they see the script, maybe they don't, maybe they just score to the finished product. But for you, it was a real factor, I think, in creating the total product, right? Can you tell us a
Yes,
little
it
bit?
was very important. And for the music, it's hard because you do need some money for that. But I had to call my friends.
Okay, I want to see your cell phone.
Yeah, I called. Yeah, I have
All
a
the
good list.
contacts, yeah.
Please make sure it doesn't disappear. Damien Rice, I called him, and I knew he loved the book, and I said, "Would you please write me a song out of one of the poems?" And he said, "Yes. Let me look at the poem and see which one I wanted." I said, "No, it has to be on children." And he said, "But I have no children." And I said, "I know, but it has to be on children." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because it's my favorite one, and I know you're gonna do such a beautiful job with it." And then I called him sometime later, and I go, "How are you doing with the song?" "Oh yeah, I have to do the song." And then I called him. He was recording his own album, and then I called him again. "How are you doing with the song?" "Oh my God, the song!" I'm like, "Damien, I need it like in 2 weeks." And wait, let me call you right back. And I go, "Oh my God." He calls me in an hour, and he goes, "Yes, listen to this. Tell me if this is the right direction." In an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And he played the song, and I was crying, and I said, he goes, "Is that the right direction?" I go, "No, that's the song. Did you record it?" He goes, "No." I go, "Hurry up before you forget."
Let's see if the next clip maybe has
well,
the music.
let's talk and let's see.
Okay. Ooh.
There's no, the best part of the poem is coming now. This one, for example.
You'll just have to go get a movie ticket and see it in theaters when it comes out
Yes.
tomorrow, okay?
This one, the director, John Sfar, decided to take on marriage and express everything that is in the poem, which is basically that to love each other, to be together, but to make sure you don't lose your identity, that each one stands on their own too, to be close but not too close where you get lost or one of them disappears. So this is sort of the theme of that poem, and he decided to do it as a tango.
Ooh.
And he worked with real people and a great choreographer, and this poem becomes a dance. They do what the poem means in a dance. Sometimes we do it in a song, sometimes, so there is a lot of variety in it. And you got a chance to see how we go from the story into one of the poems and then come back on.
I was going to say, at the top of the clip, we saw the little heroine who I think is so cute because she has brown hair, she has brown skin. I think she looks like me. But I mean, she's not like the typical little girl you see in cartoons. Was that deliberate on your part to not make her the blonde, blue-eyed, stereotypical
Listen,
little hero?
74% of all the characters that are in the movies today, and this is like an actual statistic, are white. The other 26 is divided by the rest of the world. You know, all the other different colors. And I think it's lovely that we have a very colorful film where the mother, my character, you don't get to see it, my hips are like this. It's not a Barbie looking mother. And the little girl, it doesn't look like a doll. It sort of looks like my little girl.
Oh. I mean, speaking of your daughter, she had a part in the French version of the film, is that right?
She does, Jeanette Wallis, who does the part of the little girl in this movie. She does that same part when we dub it to French.
Okay. And what has the reaction been like amongst the kids that you've screened it for? I mean, including your daughter, because again, it's not Minions, right? I mean, it looks very
Minions,
different.
and she loves Minions.
Okay.
But the reaction was, Valentina was sort of like, when she saw some of the first animations, like, oh my God, Mom, that movie looks like old times. And she was like, when are you going to be finished with the prophet call? I mean, when I was 6, every night the prophet call, when I am 8, because I'm doing the movie from Europe, so,
so
I took a lot of my nights, and sometimes I cannot wake up to take her to the school, so she had a little bit of a resentment.
It ate into her time. Right.
And then when she saw the movie, I nearly cried because she told me she was very proud of me. And also because she wrote a poem about how we are spirits and how because of this we are free and because of this we never die, we are eternal. And then she made a drawing of my grandmother who she really would have loved to have met. And my grandma, mi abuelita Huicha, it's like coming out of the coffin, kind of dancing with all the rest of us. So in her case, it took away some of the fear of death and the anxiety of death.
I mean, is that maybe part of your ultimate goal is to inspire future generations? Maybe there's another artist like Khalil,
it's
who
to
might watch
inspire
your movie.
future generations to sing, to paint, to express themselves in any kind of way, but most importantly, in this generation, to try to have the courage to be unique, to cherish their own thoughts, and try to look for a stimulation that inspires their individualism.
It sounds like an extension
instead of just distracts them from themselves.
I mean, it sounds like an extension of your work as a humanitarian. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many issues that we were able to touch in this film through his poetry, you know.
And I think that's a good place. We have one more clip. I'm so excited about this one.
Maybe there's more music in this one.
Oh, I love that one.
And this one was Glenn Hansen and Lisa Hannigan. I don't know if you know these amazing Irish singers. They are great. I think they did a beautiful job with that poem. But you have to hear Damien's. He did too. When you watch it, you will see. He did the end credit song too.
I mean, this project, does this represent a new stage in your career? Is this the kind of work that we can see more of, or is it a continuation of what you've already done, do you think?
No, it's a unique piece, you know. I cannot do more of this. I mean, I'll do something else, something different. It's so from the heart. I mean, it was so difficult to get made. We had a very small budget, very, very small budget. To do animation, it's very expensive, very complicated. it's a one of a kind. I don't think I can go on and do many like this, but I will come up with something else.
Okay.
They said that to me when I did Frida.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't do
are you
Frida
gonna
Part
do
2?
more? I'm not gonna, like other biographies. Not
Yeah.
right now. I feel like I would be unfaithful to this one, and it took me this long to bring to you something that like this, something that meant so much to me, something that I wanted to say. You can't just pop up like that when it's that profound. You can't just like
Whip it out, yeah.
whip
like
it out
just,
of
yeah.
you.
I mean, but that being
We'll see.
said, I mean, because it was so much work, is it easier being the glamorous movie star, or is it easier to be the producer because you do have all these connections? I mean, which is harder? Which do you enjoy the most?
Being a producer is hard. Trying to produce original material, it's nearly impossible. You cannot. This is just get hair, makeup, with the jeans on, and out you go. It's nothing, you know.
Right.
But it's say this much of who I am.
Yeah.
This.
It's
You
your
take a
heart.
piece of my heart, and you get to know who I am, not who I'm wearing. So it is a lot more difficult, but at the same time, a lot more meaningful.
I love that.